I, 26 male, caught my 28 female girlfriend cheating on me with a prisoner. It happened about 3 weeks ago. I was getting ready for work and I saw a letter where I put my work shoes. I grabbed but didn't recognize right away because it had my girlfriend's first name but a different last name. I saw it was her handwriting, so I took it to the bathroom and opened it. She was basically telling this guy she couldn't wait for him to get out and have his baby and marry him and take over my kids. But she's telling me she doesn't want any more kids. She was talking to him for about 7 months before I found out. I showed her the letters when I found out, and she said it was just a friend, and she was never going to send it. In the letter, she said her mom and one of her sisters knew about them and supported her decision. She was even having my son on FaceTime with this guy when I would be at work. I ended up finding visitation forms, and she was putting down that she was his fiancée and using his last name. Ultimately, she chose him over me. We've been together for 11 years and have 2 kids, and we lost 2 kids. She says she's unhappy but can't give a reason why she's unhappy. She's never seen this guy in person, only letters and on the phone, but she wants him over me. I've been by her side through everything, took care of her when she had no job. My daughter was born at 26 weeks, and I got 2 jobs and worked long days so she can be with our daughter in the hospital while I missed the time with my daughter. Even when I wasn't happy or didn't want to try, I never left and gave it another shot. I just don't understand how she chose someone who has nothing over someone who would have gave her everything. This guy has charges for drug possession, armed robbery, and vehicle theft. I want to move on, but I don't know how or where to start. This was my life. I don't know nothing but this. I've been with her since I was 15. It also sucks because we have to still live together till one of us finds a new place to move. Any advice on how to stop worrying about what she's doing and just move on? Thanks. Second story. Can someone explain what my wife is doing? Last December, I found out that my wife was cheating. I believe it started a few months before that. I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I collected evidence to be sure. And in fact, I found out everything about the person she was cheating on me with. Our marriage hasn't been the best. It has its ups and downs. It never really felt very solid to either of us, I think. I spent a lot of time thinking through all of it, and unfortunately to myself, I feel like we are one of those more toxic matches, where I am more passive and agreeable and she feels more dominant and assertive. It kinda works since we fill in the holes in each other's personalities, like my calmness and diligence helps us get through emotional and physical difficulties, like doing chores and taking care of our dog, things she finds hard to keep track of, and her resolveness helps to actually make decisions, like buying a house. In other words, she lacks discipline, while I lack decisiveness, and in that sense, we kind of complete each other. I have been struggling with certainty my whole life, honestly. It takes me a long time to make decisions. I tend to overanalyze. About 3 years ago, she started to want kids very much, and I know why. Her clock is ticking, I understand. However, for me, as I said before, it takes a long time to make decisions. So I told her that I wasn't quite ready, but I would work on myself to be ready. And we agreed to wait for 3 years, and I honestly have been working, essentially mentally preparing myself to it, getting comfortable with our finances, getting less career-oriented. In these 3 years, I got the promotions that I wanted at work, to a point where I am not aiming anywhere higher. I am still not quite ready, but I can definitely step over it. I do want kids eventually. I just feel like it's a bit early for me, but I am also very aware of her biological needs. Now here is where it gets very, very hard. A year ago, she started cheating on me. As I said above, I found out about it in December, but it had been going on for a few months before that. This threw everything completely off. I don't understand why she would do it. My mind is so incredibly conflicted on this. I understand that our marriage wasn't that great, but then every week she reminds me that she wants kids, and almost every night she whispers that she loves me. Yet at exactly the same time, she is having an affair with another guy. 2 years ago, we got a dog, kind of in the preparation for having kids, or at least that's how I perceived it, so that we get used to taking care of another being. Because of her affair, she is now ignoring our dog. I take most care after it, like she would stay at work till late night because she has a lot of work on Friday, while I make sure to come home earlier to walk and feed our pet. On one hand, I can't say I blame her. My uncertainty and lack of confidence about the kids probably added uncertainty to her own life. On the other hand, this completely threw me off balance that I already didn't have much of, and fueled my own uncertainty. Yet she still repeats that she loves me and still reminds about the kids. I confronted her about her affair 3 times already. I explained exactly this, that it's very confusing and makes us very uncertain. She assured me to not overthink, that it's only a friend and so on. I 100% know it's not just a friend, but I never pushed hard on that, hoping that she will make sure it stops. She told me she'd take care of it, yet it hasn't stopped. So what is she doing? Is she working on her backup plan? I feel like some kind of resource, a utility, an object. If I left her now, she'd continue with this other guy. If I stay, then we'd have kids. But this whole situation makes me feel so awful. I don't know exactly what I feel TBH, just some weird emotions. At a minimum, it feels dishonest and ingenuine. Why would she be risking the marriage like that when it already is on shaking ground and we were both trying to repair it? But if she actually is unhappy, then why not leave me? Why ask for kids and tell she loves me and then say, I love you to this other guy? I don't know how to feel. I feel sorry for her. I feel sorry for myself. I even feel sorry for this other guy for some reason. Edit. There are a lot of comments about how come I let it be like this for the last 6 months. Of course, there is a lot more than a post on the internet can describe. There is just a lot going on that fills up the time. My mom just moved to the country. She doesn't speak the language, so I've been spending a lot of the time on helping her settle, going to all sorts of offices, scheduling her language lessons, working on her medical insurance. US healthcare system is BS, her immigration status, and so on. Of course, there is also a never-ending daily grind at work. There was just a lot that left me pretty drained every week. So instead, I tried to just stay positive despite the circumstances and gave my wife plenty of time and space to deal with her shit. Clearly, she hasn't dealt with her shit. I am refocusing on myself right now because my mom's stuff is finally more or less settled, so I have more brain capacity and time to do what's needed for me. Update. I did the first step, as everyone has recommended. I called a divorce lawyer and asked all the questions that got brought up here. One small step at a time. There shouldn't be issues for me to move out as long as I keep staying financially responsible for the house. Update. In short, as the title says, I moved out and gone no contact. It's only been 1 day so far. I took all my stuff, took my dog, and we are now staying in a temporary place for a couple months while I am looking for a more permanent stay. Based on the suggestions from the original post, I first talked to a lawyer the same week as I posted it. I think I understood things right and done the things correctly. The things kind of escalated since the last post. We talked about codependence with her, to a point where she even proposed for us to separate to test if we are codependent to each other, to which I agreed. I don't think she was serious, but I was. We had a very emotional talk, and I clearly stated for the first time ever that lying about fidelity is my boundary. She then crossed this boundary, and I was left with no choice but to act. Since no matter how emotional it gets, words alone don't make a change. She also said something that terrified me, and I myself did something that I feel deeply ashamed of and out of my character. Then I left as promised. On the day that I promised, and in a very concise way, I let her know that I did it. This was yesterday. I haven't talked to her since and haven't replied to her calls. Update. The Hoover has started. She is trying to reach me with apologies, threats of suicide, every option in the book. It's tremendously hard to not break no contact, but I am holding strong, haven't replied to anything. It feels so bad, I am dying inside, but at least for now, the anger outweighs the empathy and holding me together. Thank you for listening. If you like this video, please give it a like and write your opinion in the comments. See you soon.